Well, hello. It has been another month. It is now close to the end of February 2021, and um, welcome, I guess. Let's start there. If you have never stumbled on this before, hello, my name is Kara, and I use this channel documenting my journey out of my student loan debt. I filmed weekly in the year 2020, and in 2021, I hadn't made any such promise, so I decided to just go to a monthly update. And that is still mostly for me personally, although if you have subscribed or you follow this in any way, I am honored and thank you for a little bit of your time. Um, so, my goals in 2020 were trying to use 75% of my net income on my debt reduction. My goal remains similar now to use a high percentage of my net income, although uh, the appropriate goal, like what would be perfect usage of my income, would actually be using around 30% on my own expenses and about 60, no, sorry, I can do math, I swear. Close to 35% of my income is needed for my own expenses, and then 65% is an ideal towards debt. Um, and that is accomplished primarily because I have become extraordinarily frugal. My living expenses are down, and I'm very fortunate that my situation is just to rent a bedroom in a very nice couple's house. I live close to where I work, and so I walk. I take some side gigs where I can, like pet sitting or cleaning, things like that. And overall, I just really work hard to not spend anything unnecessary. I've been at this for several years. I'm towards the tail end of my getting out of debt journey. When I turned 35, I had a variety of reasons to take stock of my life and kind of figure out what in the world have I been doing and look at the genuine problem of my student loan debt and my debt overall at that time. So as I was turning 35, my total debt was about $95,000. 87,000 of that was student loans, and I tackled it in a variety of ways, primarily cutting my expenses and paying as much as possible all the time. Now my full debt is under, let's see, as of this minute, this month, my total debt is now under 20,000, which is amazing to me, especially because I've had rather modest employment. The first year that I was on my debt journey, I had a wonderful job, a 1-year contract at a private middle school, and that was probably a high point of earning potentially in my lifetime. And that year I paid off something over $23,000 or $24,000 of debt, which was great. However, in the meantime, I moved to northern Idaho to live closer to my family and to have a simpler lifestyle. And I've taken a position at a local independent grocery store. So it's a good job and it's a good wage, and it's really great given that the national minimum wage is $7.25. To be competitive in town, of course, the wages are better than that. I think I started at the store at $13.50, and I've crept up a little since then. But it's a modest wage and it is a modest income. And in the meantime, I've continued trying to put the highest percentage of my income as possible towards my debt and to keep my own life and my own life's expenses as low and as simple as possible. And now I'm facing down probably the last year, which is awesome. Probably the last year of my debt journey. And so, welcome aboard. And I wanted to give an update for how February of 2021 has gone. This month, the like roughest sketch. This month, I paid off $1,207 of debt, and my only debt anymore is student loans. And the percentage of my net income that represents was 55.3%. So I'm not hitting my goal of 65-ish, but this is actually an improvement because through the winter I struggled and I had some spending through the holidays and beyond that I just let get a little out of hand. I I spent more than I planned on, and that's just the plain truth of it. And so for the last 2 months, December and in January, my percent towards debt was only 50, like 50.5 and 50.7. So the fact that I'm back towards 55% and up, this is getting better. So I'm glad about that. And I'm very glad in the midst of that, I made that improvement, and I made that improvement in spite of the fact that I had to do a car repair this month, and I took from some emergency savings that I had to offset that and not take too much out of my monthly budget. But it did have an impact, and I was grateful to have what savings I did. Uh, and yeah, so I might have hit a higher percentage had I not had those car repairs, but they happened and we're rolling, and it's okay. I still got everything done that I needed to. Um, let's see. There was something else I did this month. Oh, yeah. I filed my taxes, and for a few years now, when my life got as nice and simple as it has, because my only main source of income is the wages that I get from the store. And so I have a W-2, and I have my student loan interest paid statements, just the tax documents that you start getting at the start of the year. And I can use a free online tax preparation. I've used Credit Karma Tax now for a few years, and I've really appreciated how simple it is to do. So that's done, and any day now I should see a state and a federal refund hit my bank account, totaling about $1,000. So that'll be really helpful because I want to put that immediately back into my emergency savings, and to sort of pay back my savings from the car repair and give myself, the car repair ended up $300, and to then put $1,000 into savings more than pays that back, and it starts rebuilding the buffer of my savings, which I had chosen to deplete a couple of months ago, and I knew I was taking a risk. I chose to deplete my savings to pay more on my student loans, and now I want to replenish those savings. And yeah, it's helpful, a little comforting to know that the depleting of savings I did wasn't too much. I did have enough saved for the car expense that I had, and now very soon it will be replenished and then some, which is a nice, secure feeling. I think that's it for a financial update of February. I had left hanging some medical stuff. I have been with my doctor kind of unraveling a mystery of an elevated liver enzyme, and I also have some medical expenses that are going to be hitting me in the coming month, that I'm going to make a payment plan for and do about $75 a month for a little while. That'll get exciting, as it ever does. But this elevated liver enzyme seems to have been related to a supplement that I was taking several months ago, and I didn't need to be taking it, and I was kind of over mineralized, and that appears to have made my liver a little upset. But every time we've tested now, that enzyme is coming back to a normal range, and the only thing that changed is that I quit taking that supplement, and I've just carried on with the way that I eat, carried on with my normal life, and I guess that's a good thing that that enzyme is coming back into the normal place that it should be. We talked about how in like June or July, I will test one more time and just make sure. And in the meantime, obviously not taking any supplements. Apparently my way of eating gives me plenty of what I need. So I am fully expecting normal results in June or July, and I'm pretty much laying that question to rest. But it has meant going to the doctor several times in the last few months, which is very weird to me, to just have blood draws and to sit and talk about what the results mean. And I went and had an ultrasound of my liver, and according to the technician, my liver looked spectacular. There were no fatty streaks, there were no problems. It's not enlarged, whatever. It just looked like a normal, healthy liver, which is great. That's what I wanted it to be. I'm not really sure there's much else It's beautiful here. It's been a little bit more wintry. We finally got some snow in the lower elevations. So I had been cross country skiing up high. I had been going up close to the Schweitzer Mountain Resort and using some trails there to cross country ski. And more recently, I stayed in town and I was doing a lot of cross country skiing on the frozen Pend River, which was really fun. Beautiful wide open view of the broad river and up the mountains, and I did it at dawn with friends one day and saw the sun come up over the mountains while we were out on the snowy ice. um, really beautiful. So I think I'm finally figuring out how to play in the cold and in the snow fully and enjoy it. I have typically joked that winter is for getting out of shape and reading and knitting, but this winter I'm pulling off what I really actually want is to not get out of shape in the winter. So doing that cross country skiing and seeing some friends and being safely outside um, is really wonderful to be able to do. I'm looking around and I don't have any more notes. I think this is basically it. I'm in the middle of maybe a slight career transition. I'm going to stay at the store. I'm going to continue working at Winter Ridge Natural Foods. And if nothing were to change and I continue on my path, I would probably be the grocery manager in a few years. And that would be a lovely thing. That would be a great position. And I can do a lot of good for the company. And I like working there and I like the people there a great deal. But I also recently had the opportunity to look at um, maybe being the bookkeeper instead. And that appeals to me for a variety of reasons. One, just I naturally enjoy the methodical nature of certain tasks, and I like that it equally contributes in a very necessary way to the functioning of a thriving small business. And I could have 4-day work weeks. And that very much appeals. So some of the tasks that would be involved appeal to me. The schedule certainly appeals to me. And I love that I could continue helping a company that I've come to really love and a team that feels like a really healthy working family. I definitely see myself staying there, but it might just be in a slightly different role than I have been expecting. And then if this doesn't work out after a few visits with the bookkeeper and shadowing her at her work, if it turns out that I'm not actually interested in doing it and I continue on the path of grocery that I've been on, that is also just great. So it's also a really great, healthy spot for this company where they can let people inside explore possibilities, and that it ends up win-win all around because they need these roles and they need people to be happy to fulfill them, and they're giving staff those opportunities to explore. So everything's good. But yeah, just a little update. Now I think I've got everything. So I hope you've had a decent February and I hope that you're safe. I hope you're warm. Apparently, a great number of people in this country are struggling because of the weather and the breakdown of their communities' infrastructure, having power, having heat, having groceries. I really hope you're okay, and I hope that those things are resolved very, very soon before people suffer even more. So yeah, I will see you again at the end of March, hopefully with more good update. Bye.